COVID-19 is seriously affecting the new NBA season, and the NBAPA and the NBA reached a deal today on new restrictions. We're going to talk about everything today. We're going to talk about the concerns with the players directly, but first I want to remind you guys to subscribe. I just got off my day job like 13 minutes ago, and we're back on that daily recording grind, so make sure you subscribe and like if you are enjoying NBA content on the daily. Today, normally I'd be doing a recap, but instead I did think it was important to go over this stuff because it is, again, affecting the NBA very, very heavily. So I want to start off with some of the star players. Kyrie Irving is the latest news that kind of, I think, put this more in force. Like, it was kind of the breaking point, I think, for the NBA. Kyrie Irving was seen with no mask at a family birthday party. He had missed the last 3 games due to personal reasons, and then obviously he's seen out. He'll miss the next at least 3 games. Devastating news. Obviously, at the beginning of the season, the whole James Harden and the strip club thing, the first Rockets game was postponed. The 76ers ran out the last 2 games with 7 players, none of them being good. Honestly, they got cucked out of 2 wins. The Celtics games have been postponed the last few. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are infected. Mavs and Pels have been postponed. The whole Heat team pretty much is out. And it's really just affecting the way the NBA is. Like, they made good changes going into the year where it was like trying to keep it in check as much as you could without spending billions on a bubble for the entire season, taking players away from their families for an entire season. They did a really nice job with the scheduling, all sorts of stuff, but at the end of the day, it is up to the responsibility of the players, and it's obviously some of them can't handle the responsibility of just taking care of business, staying with your family, making sure your family is not in close contact with anyone with COVID, and just taking care of business for the NBA season, so you can play and you can make your money. So the NBA and the NBAPA, like I mentioned earlier, reached a deal today on stricter restrictions just so they can try to get through this NBA season. We've seen a number of game cancellations. Like, the first week was great, and now we're seeing a number of game cancellations. So it's got to come to an end. I'm really hoping that the NBA doesn't go on a hiatus. I am nervous about that the NBA will, after these restrictions, which of course we'll talk about, we'll go over in a second, after these restrictions maybe do not work, I'm very, very nervous that it could be, maybe it's just a week to 2 weeks of no basketball, no team operations, 1 week of practice, and so we're missing 3 weeks of games. That's not horrible to me, right? What I'm afraid of is, we do that, and then we come back, and then more COVID cases, and then we miss a month, and then eventually it ends up like the last NBA season where we have like 4 months where there was no basketball, the season wasn't complete. I really don't want there to be another NBA suspension. So obviously I really do hope that these players can stay safe for their own good and for our good. I want to watch the NBA. It's been an outlet for all of us during this time, and I want the players to be healthy. So we're going to go over the new restrictions. Some of these I feel like were a little bit too strict. I feel like the players should have just been doing this stuff. But some of them I was like, okay, are they allowed to do that? But I guess they are. So the NBA is obviously going to be stricter on masks. The thing that kind of caught me, this is the biggest thing, is you're not allowed to leave your house unless it's a team activity. No, unless it's a practice or a meeting, you're not allowed to leave the house. Which is, to me, it's like, I don't know, can they do that? They must be able to do that. I just think that's kind of bizarre. Obviously, I would encourage the players to do that regardless because, we don't want you going out to strip clubs, going out to birthday parties, getting infected, infecting your whole team, going out and playing another game, infecting the other team. Obviously, pre-game meetings now are going to be no longer than 10 minutes in the locker rooms. They all have to have masks on. This is definitely going to affect preparation. Obviously, this is where they get a lot of their preparation in halftime, and then during right before the games, you're talking about the game plan and you're getting your players ready for the game, and now it's not allowed to be for more than 10 minutes. It's a different vibe. It's a different feel. And then on top of that, pre-games are going to be shortened as much as possible. You're not allowed to enter the arena any earlier than 3 hours before tip-off, so preparation for the games is just going to be lacked for the near future at least. Let's see. On team flights, players are only allowed to sit with the players that they're going to sit with on the bench. Again, if they're all going to be there together, honestly, it's like at a point where it's like, do we really care about that? But they did have to make a statement and crack down and be like, we're really, really serious about this. We talked about that. Obviously, you have to have masks at all times on the bench. I don't believe they'll have masks during the games. And then no high fives. They're going with fist bumps and elbow bumps. I'm just concerned about one or two players not following the rules. I really feel like, you know, if you're not allowed to leave your house and you can't get into trouble, then there is no reason that COVID would spread throughout the NBA, right? I'm worried about maybe it's like a wife of a player goes out, gets COVID, infects the player. The player's on the court, he's sweating, he's spitting, he's breathing on other players, just as you would do in an NBA game, and that infects the team, and it infects your team, and it could really send more shockwaves throughout the NBA if another season is, you know, put to a halt. I don't want to see that happening whatsoever. So I want to know what you guys think of these restrictions, not necessarily from like a political standpoint or anything like that. I just want to know how you feel about the NBA going forward. Do you think it will continue? Do you think it will go on a suspension, a hiatus? And let me know if you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like. Stay tuned for tomorrow's recap. And then also I want to mention that I'm going on vacation from Friday through Monday. Kind of weird to say after I talked about COVID. It'll be safe, I promise. Going on vacation from Friday to Monday, I'll have to have 4 videos planned for those days. So I won't have recaps through Friday through Monday. But I do have some fun videos planned for you guys, and I hope you enjoy them. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.